Legend stage. Mirage will be their best chance to show their best face, put their best foot forward, and give this a real try. And they'll start right here on T side. This isn't a map that G2 play anymore, but of course in history I've played plenty.
Hunter, nothing. Art, double kill. When they struggled to kick it all off on that Ancient game yesterday, well, Art did have an uptick on individual level. Let's see what he can do here. Charging through to connector. Art picks up a third. Just a one-man army for G2 to now have to come back. It's a 2v5 retake. They find the first one for free while the smokes were still up. That wall of cover letting them section it off, but Nico gets gushed. Poor guy. And the Glock finds its target. There we go. FURIA, another T round on the pistol. Let's see if they can convert it, because both times they've won pistol across Inferno. That second round got sketchy.
List of things I liked about this round. T-side round win. Opening round win. Fast. Art.
Violence.
Violence. Speed. And Art the tip of the spear. Opening kills. We know that's good. The tempo's there. Is that going to be the style of play here on T-side? If they revert back to their old style, it suddenly works.
Then never change again.
Never change again, and wow, it would be historic to have a team completely be ripped from their style, be pushed away, be bullied out of it,
yeah,
and to bring it back in, then to make it look good suddenly, and then wonder why they ever took a siesta from it. That would be special.
It'd be such a great lesson for all the kids out there. No matter how much people criticize you, never change.
Never change.
Even if it's toxic.
Keep being weird.
Being toxic is a choice.
You always have enough money for a deagle.
$700 ain't nothing.
Says Nico.
Sat up perched in the ladder room with movement towards the bottom mid. He's hoping that Yuri takes this duel, but Yuri with the better hardware comes out on top of it. So connector control, middle control, all going well for FURIA. Again, first map, they win pistol, lose second. Second half, win pistol, almost drop it a second time. And things were going well.
Steady shot there from m0NESY.
Could still go south as Hooksy presses his Desert Eagle into the smoke. It's the double T setup on the other side. Third one's coming over. And then you've got Hunter down beneath with the CZ and a flash as well. If he wants to help out Hooksy, we'll see what happens. But m0NESY's also starting to throw himself into it. The CTs are in the right position, and time is not on FURIA's side. Hunter able to get the blind side. m0NESY with the scout shot. They kill Hooksy point blank. We've got 8 seconds. More dinks come out. The scout takes its target, and they have fumbled it again.
Oh, not like this, man. Not like this. There's one moment here. Just one thing I could change about this round. It's Yuri. He doesn't transition from connector after his teammate dies on Cat to try to get into the window or to try to hear m0NESY on the rotating into B. And that's just it's just really tough to watch. It's really tough to watch this happen. Some great shots coming in. G2 will be super excited.
Let's go.
Everyone's just so desperate for their wins right now, and unfortunately, someone's got to come out on the loss side. It feels like it's only going to get uglier from FURIA, and you know they'll invest again, but this time it's the one, you know, rifle save from Yuri, of course, behind it. That one ripped from their clasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the sake of good Counter-Strike.
Yeah. And the sake of variety and, you know, multiple regions succeeding all at once, and just can't have it all, though, can you?
For Brazil.
Quesarado at the RMR, you know, when he says I have a lot of confidence, he says it in such a way that it's different than when other players talk about it. He's been playing this game for 10 years. He's been top of the game this year and the last. Such a beast rifler, and even though he's a more emergent storyline than someone like Nico, you know, he's on par in recent times. You really want to see success for a player like that. And for a team, for the most part, who have stuck together, you know, their core.
Yes.
It's been a long journey.
And a stubborn long journey.
Yeah, sure.
The style and never changing. And now was finally when you know, they decide to bite that bullet. But hold up.
Okay.
Dropping Quesarado 4v2, but Nico,
Oh my God, he could win.
back's turned. He's lost track of the ramp player. Still he holds off. Oh, it's clean. He turns back to Quesarado, who just got himself into the coverage. We've got 2 back towards Ticket. Hunter getting closer. And these T's with jiggles around all these pieces of cover. There it is. Art takes the head off. Oh, man, they were sketched out. Nico just reveals himself from top Tetris. It gets scary for a second.
Who's been living in my house this whole time?
Yeah, he's been up in the attic, stealing crumbs at midnight.
A parasite.
But that's great for Furia. That's what they need. A bounce back with a force buy of their own, convincing themselves that they too can win with the lesser weapons.
Okay.
That Mirage is where they leave their mark on G2.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny because, like, you know, Mirage is a map you think it was synonymous for G2 for funnier reasons than not, honestly, for a while, because it was like G2, oh, they picked Mirage in a grand final. Guess it's 0-3, you know? But since then, they continue to play it, but in these recent games, in these recent months, they just haven't really been tested on it. It's not something they pick. Most teams aren't picking it versus them. So, yeah, there's a chance. Of course, if Furia played their best right now, I would say, like, there's a pretty good chance they win the map. But based on what we've seen, nobody's really that confident. But even still, never safe. We saw G2 on those half buys on, oh, CT side on Inferno.
Yoy.
Oh, and that jump will actually make it so they can't punish. Drop, he turns.
Recovers.
Yeah, well.
Nico still trades it. Yuri's close enough to chase it. Art could also catch him on the fallback, but remember, Hunter has an M4.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, look, the congregation of the T's towards the A side. 2 players getting close and comfortable. Nico looking for a bit more. They've got m0NESY trailing in behind them. The bomb's starting to work back a little bit, but it feels like it's still ending A, of course. And at a minute, Art only goes 1 for 1. It's just 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. And when G2 don't have that much to play with, it's making them look good.
Hunter leans it back into the bomb site. Still, this M4 hopes to thrive. Hooksy's going to be flanking. But a little contact out from Tetris could catch Hunter exposed to Safe. He crouches down beneath it, spotted. The damage is in, but Safe ends up picking up the duel. It's just the USP on m0NESY, so understandably goes down. And Furia just inch their way closer, getting into the bomb site, prevailing here with 3 players still alive, hanging on to the nades, you know, for the fact that we do go 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. Nice to see Furia then just get back with a fury of 3 kills.
Yeah.
But Hooksy's going to get close enough to Safe. Damn, still doesn't die. And Safe picking up 2 kills there off the AK. I was sat back criticizing Yuri's performance yesterday as well, but on that ancient map, you know, we really did miss the core 3 of Furia.
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
Safe's struggles were just as real. That's somebody who has brought an op presence into Furia's success as of late, something that they always seem to be lacking, except for when Henny was there.
Yeah.
They brought him in, an opera that could thrive within Art's system. It felt like we would never find it.
Safe has been impressive, but he never plays the same versus better competition. Always powers up versus slightly worse teams. And that's not a really great sign. Ooh, drop will die to the stack on the A ramp. I mean, this could speed things up, but it's a pure default here from Furia. Bomb is no position to pick a site at the moment. So the CTs, well, they'll spread A ramp, they'll take a gun back, and they'll survive as they escape. m0NESY picks up the AK, but this is a round where nobody has armor to work with.
The most important vote we've had on Blast TV. The answer is definitely yes.
The answer is definitely yes. All right. Can Hooksy's big brains figure this one out? Everybody's starting to rocket over to the B site.
Bretta's ready.
Yeah. Ooh, shot gets missed from Safe, and that's rotators coming in. That's 2 players rotating in. But finally, the kills come down in favor of the T's.
JKS with 1. Hooksy slides out. Nah, nothing else.
All right, well handled.
Getting through with another 3 players alive. All is good here. Yuri 7-1 the start. Safe again, just adding a bit into this. And it's a 4-round T side, 5 rounds deep. This is what Furia needed.
Yeah, they shake the narrative of the T side's not working out, show that they can play well on this map, show that it's a good veto choice for them versus G2. put up a great offense. And now that it's a bit more calm, go into the rifles. And then we'll see when G2 are even strength, if they can keep up. It's just so hard to figure out what's going on these days.
Do you mean because of the rise of misinformation on the internet?
Yeah, that doesn't help. Can't trust images, can't trust music. Only trust you, Connor. Tell me what's going on.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'll get back to you. What I know now is that FURIA are fighting for their life in Paris. FURIA come in, earning the only legend spot from the Americas region. And yet it is Team Liquid that are closer to playoffs than them. For now. Buy back up from the G2 camp, up on Monacy. A little bit quiet on Inferno, but not the end of days for G2. Still a very convincing victory over there. See if he can give us what he did in the Challengers stage. Highest rated player coming out of Challengers. Seemed untouchable. Seemed incomparable to anybody else until ZywOo showed up.
So right here, FURIA start off with a window smoke. It gets countered by the Molly and info for the CT, so they don't overextend on the ramp. Oh, flash isn't good. Goes right by Monacy. Comes back getting for the frag. Poor drop gets sacrificed with no trade back.
The mid smoke draws him back.
Does Art speed up? Oh, he does.
Nicely done, but still a player now beneath him.
Yeah, favoring the CTs just slightly. A ramp control as well with the bomb in front of it. Nico will turn to the other side of Connector, duplicating his presence and finding another kill.
Nicely done. Dominating Connector. Nico and Connector. We talk about his 10-year career. Well, that's been his bread and butter, but man advantage is JKS can just slink back into the cover of Underbalk. Teammate with him, and Hooksy not far away. So the stairs player looking for contact won't find it. It's a drop into Sandwich. The picture being pieced together by the Aussie, and the damage comes through. Such little amounts of health left on these Ts. Hunter and Hooksy clean it up, and that's G2's second CT round win.
Yeah, pretty solid overall. I mean, it's a very simple round from their perspective. Again, countering the mid-window smoke. No actual mid-control being taken, and then not making a mistake here as well. And I guess, does Monacy start anti versus that ramp play? That might have been something that netted him a kill. So a good counter to the tactic there. We do have a standard round coming out of FURIA. That is picked apart 1 kill at a time. And it'll be G2's first timeout. Which gives FURIA a chance to think as well. And I think as much as FURIA want to change their style, it wouldn't be weird. They could still call it a new style if they still had some of their old stuff coming in once in a while, right? I mean, even when you think about the most optimized and best teams and tournament winners, like FaZe or G2, they have different tempos. These aren't slow-paced teams overall. I mean, in general, that's not the dominant way of playing CS in the first place. So it's not like FURIA have to strip their identity completely. Certainly no one would be mad at them for doing that.
All right, this is fast. Safes straight down beneath mid window. Yuri, did he? Oh, what is that?
I think it's just a spam into the window smoke.
All right. Well, gets away with a 5v4. Critical one early.
I don't know if Hunter one-weighted after the mollied. Maybe that's what happened.
Could make sense, but the cat peek, yeah, that's just a sitting victim.
That's a huge angle to take because they have
deep.
Yeah, because they have DB control.
Then the mid play, well, that just instantly starts to slide back the favor of G2. Recovered from the 4v5 to the 4v2.
And Art goes, see, this, guys, this is why we changed. This is why we changed everything.
But what can he recover with the op? He's going to get the back. Nope. Monacy.
Oh!
The vent.
Oh,
the vent.
That's so unfortunate.
He survives on 1 HP because of vent. Add it to the list of things to change on Source 2, I tell ya. Nico's going to find him. Bomb thrown down now. That could have been a kill, but it isn't. It's 4 up for G2. An opening frag means nothing as G2 reclaim every portion of the map. Op in apartments to catch the cat peek, the most minimal cat peek, but as we said, afforded by that deep apartments control.
Yeah, we'd have to consider the fact that m0NESY's shot looks easy because he's so deep, right? But if they don't have deep B control, he can't actually stand there at all. So they granted that by taking control of that part of the map. And FURIA haven't really tested B apps in the default. And right here, you see how deep it is in the window. You can't stand there otherwise. So Yuri thinks he's shouldering bench, right? But he's full swinging to m0NESY's perspective. And even if Art gets this kill, it looks like the player below window is probably going to trade him out. There's not many odds for FURIA in that portion of the round. So, well, just like that, stripped of all their money, back to pistols, running up A ramp.
Just going to try to crank the dial. Safe cut off from the rest of the pack, though. What I also like about that last round, we keep continuing to talk about m0NESY's ability to hold that angle because of apps control. That was HooXi doing it on his own. That was HooXi who took the risk of running up there. His form criticized at times, but I remember when he had that uptick in individual performance, you know, he mentioned how JKS was helping him with his warm-up routine, how his mechanics were getting better because of the talent he was surrounded by, that he was putting time and energy into becoming a better player because he knew he just couldn't cut it with his past inabilities. So it's nice to just see him feel confident enough to go on an adventure up through apartments like that. And the fact that he also catches a kill bottom underground with a concise amount of bullets.
Yeah, he played well last map as an individual for sure. And you know, it's been clear in the past couple of early tournament exits for G2 that, you know, you don't want to be too simple about it, but you know, look at his matches. Some of these maps, he was just getting 8 kills, you know, 5 kills. His individual level does matter and was starting to fall off again. And I know it's really hard to keep up in today's game. And HooXi is on this team for his brain, of course, more than his mechanics. But even if we see peaks sometimes, it's not something that we're going to see just drastically improve over a long period of time. That's not the reality. But there's a massive difference between averaging 8 kills a game and averaging 12, 15 kills a game, especially with the teammates that he has to play with. So putting, I think it was Stannis a lot of talk about this at one point, that as an IGL, you know, he recognized that there's a lot of prep that has to go into overview, like the term that Acor say, what all of his teammates are doing inside of a round, but then also taking some time for himself in a round to make sure he gets his kill, holding his good angle, make sure he locks down his easy frag. And as an IGL, he would split up his practice time into individual time and team time. Nobody's going to be able to win tournaments 4v5 these days. And that's something that has to be recognized. And unfortunately, some players, you know, HooXi doesn't have the talent in Nico. Nico probably had put in half the work and be twice as good as Nico. That's just what he's got. But
nade? Ooh. Nah, they backed up real quick. Good job.
But it does mean that he's got to put in some extra time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can't disregard that element of the game.
Oh, and this element of the game has been working out so well for G2. Taking over deep B control over and over again. Especially seeing the fast apps play that just rocked in.
Oh, HooXi on top of the refrigerator. Just catches Art completely unprepared.
That boy cold.
Give it a chance to fall back. Tagged up by Yuri. He will get away. Couple glancing blows to the side. Serato, meanwhile, wastes no time perching up on the railing, and Nico's going to catch safe further back. And you can just see that Nico's wary of the possibility of Cat being compromised, of Serato being in ladder instead of where he is. But Serato's patience works off perfectly. He just allows Nico to feel scrambled and gets the return frag back. Something to work with here as Serato takes map control off this kill. m0NESY's so preoccupied with that deep CT flank that JKS is forced forward on ramp. This has created a pocket of control for FURIA to try to flex if they want to get back into the lead here on Mirage. But of course, JKS never shy to get up into the ramp. A master of forward A positioning on Mirage. Something that's happened for him a long time. Serato, not quite able to catch m0NESY just yet, but the bomb and the T's are getting ever closer, and so is G2's defense. We got 4 seconds on the clock, nothing left. They could sense they had an opening. They could crawling forward, but then it's just a trap. They're so scared to go for the commitment and the plant and the pace that they end up losing one after time.
Yeah, just not enough map control right there fast enough. And, well, for G2, it's the opposite. Minute 15, deep B control. They knew he was around here. They didn't know which angle. And this works out so well. And then, yeah, also a problem to just phase the window smoke right thereafter. Get some more material in your favor. G2 very much back into this game.
We touted that T-side improvement on Inferno, but 4 rounds there off the back of pistol and conversions. Same thing so far on Mirage. Quick little pop targeting the B site. This is armored pistols, and it gets shut down in an instant. Good utility. Both CTs, individual duels, and you see how that just takes all the wind out of Furia's sails, stuck in open water.
It's so hard to be enthusiastic about the game because you want to live in the world where it feels like Furia could win. Like, that's the only point in enjoying a match, right? The thought that it could happen. And I don't think Furia have convinced themselves that that's possible just yet. We need to see a little bit more out of them. So the half isn't over. They've already had that good start. This is going to be potentially their last map here at the last CSGO major to get a word in about what they've tried to do. This is the pinnacle of all of their progress. This is the apex of everything that they've worked towards, and you wouldn't want it to end like this.
No, because the sad reality for them is that ever since the end of the pandemic, where we saw them just dominate online when it came to NA play, it was quarterfinal, this idea that that's as far as they ever get. Top 8 and never better. Semis in Rio. Finally, progress on a major stage when it mattered more than ever. And we thought to ourselves, why not? Why not continue that trend to do it again and maybe just push it even further? Anything felt possible for Furia. And then a stylistic change seems to have taken all of that momentum and cut them so short that they won't even make it to that playoffs.
That's such an important point about their story. You know, some people can aim to win the major, but they were just aiming for a bit more progress, getting closer to that grand finals for a chance at being a championship level team.
It's one thing to stall out at the same place every time. It's another to go backwards. And that's what Furia are currently facing. The sad reality of this map. 0-3 is not something we'd see next to Furia's name. Forward control on ramp here from G2. They got a couple pieces of util left over and tons of time for Furia to still figure this out. But again, the comfort over towards the B site looks good. Taking a player off in the front like that is fantastic. But here comes Nico. Flash is great, and he pins Yuri to the wall. Drop doesn't want to re-aggress. Fear in the hearts of Furia as they fall back away from that ramp. The superstar turns them away.
Oh, that's such a fantastic moment where the flash is called for Nico immediately. And when Nico sees the flash coming out from the T side, he knows this is the best opportunity to push because the Ts are not going to be playing anti-flash. He knows he can actually trust that one coming in from CT spawn. It's been a popular angle here at the major.
That it has.
On top of the cap bricks from Hunter.
Hops here to help.
Also up front, great. Flick backwards.
Tethered perfectly yet again from Hunter. Multi-kill made easy by the headshots. Sitting on top of the bricks. Now Drop does have bomb. There's a clutch possibility. Half health versus 3. Hunter's not missing.
Man.
Just headshots after headshots from middle towards the B site. Hunter, the immovable object of this series so far.
Yeah, he's been the MVP of the series so far, absolutely. Yeah, as an individual, so sharp. Crazy how much talent is in the family between the two of him and Nico. Hunter continues to be sharp. I think a top 15 player for the last 3 years. Got his chance to play on G2, which was his dream. I think even, you know, I think if he had to pick one, it kind of felt like, based on the way he talked about it, he was more interested in playing with Nico than he was winning a major with someone else.
Yep.
Now trying to assist his cousin in that dream. Doing one hell of a job. I really like the Swiss Army knife style players. The Stowns, the Hunters. Good on different tempos.
So do what we have to when we need to.
Yeah,
Full package type deal.
Very versatile.
Mac 10s and pistols to pick up the tempo, but met by Nico yet again. Him and JKS just laying down lead. And every single player that emerges from that ramp gets slaughtered on the approach. No chance, no opening, no hope. FURIA completely battered.
That's a full B take that came in a few rounds ago on the eco. Full A play, no plant down. We're a couple of rounds away from FURIA looking despondent. Full control here for G2 on the CT side. They might honestly be thinking about the next match already. You know, even though there was never a point so far in this map or the last map or the yesterday where FURIA felt like they were in it, they could win it, they could bring it back. If they lose, even if it's a stomp, and you know, they're not going to be able to reconcile that defeat until it actually happens, and we are going to see some emotions at the end of this match. Because that's it. It's going to be the end of the major for FURIA. They finally got Yuri back behind them.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Remember when he got unbanned at ESL Pro League and mentioned just the elation in his face and his voice in the camp for FURIA that he was going to be able to come and play and prepare with them. And this is the stark reality he's met by, given that chance. And they look so good at the RMR. They look so good in Rio.
Yeah. Yeah, you called the FaZe upset based on the RMR performance. I watched your YouTube.
I learned from the best.
That was a good win. But sometimes it's hard to see how long the honeymoon's going to last. It's kind of like, why wouldn't it keep working?
Nico feeling comfortable here towards middle. Yes, top mid belongs to the T behind box, but JKS is there to support it. m0NESY just strikes from above. Lightning takes down drop. And in a heartbeat, all of FURIA are slaughtered yet again. This is the G2 that we saw in the Challenger stage. This is not the G2 that showed up in the best of ones.
Yeah, just drawn into middle and crushed in the same spot. And safe without any options. It's just been such a, you know, I mean, literally quiet across the map. Things are moving slowly into everything going wrong at the same time. And that's G2 on fire. Hooksy with the final kill. 9 rounds here. 7 rounds away from knocking FURIA out. Not looking like they're even going to stop on CT side right now. More ridiculous shots out of m0NESY.
Every single player in middle gets theirs. m0NESY into underpass, Nico to top middle,
Yeah.
JKS to the second one trying to emerge.
Goddamn.
That, my friends, is 8 rounds straight out of G2 without even a bomb plant for FURIA. And they're going to limp back into it round 14 with measly pistols. A MAC-10 to cross towards window. This is where we saw them get that 5v4 once upon a time. This same pace and tempo towards middle, but remember, G2 also clawed that back. Anything FURIA has done is met by G2's answers. Nico looking to be the end-all of this mid-play. They fall silent. And he knows they're close. He baits in the Art Peak, who just can't help himself to try and catch that kill point blank where the MAC-10 could have thrived. But now instead, 5v4, m0NESY content to stay perched, confident, as he should be.
Yeah, they've got Palace covered. TopCon smoked in this position. Unlimited control of the map.
Nico to his left, JKS to his right. 2 opponents ahead of him in just a moment. And that cat player coming to help Nico. They emerge through smoke. Ooh, drop with the deagle. That kicks this off well enough. And JKS with a quick reposition is going to continue to stuff FURIA in this one. Yuri is trying his damnedest by besting the rifler in jungle. That's the only silver lining, and it means nothing in the end. It's 10 for G2, an unstoppable CT side, and an invisible FURIA offense.
And even though they oscillated in the first couple of rounds with the eco and eco back and FURIA converting off of 3, those are the 4 rounds they got here on this T side. The 4 rounds they got on Inferno. The only rounds they got on T side across these 2 days. Almost literally a single rifle. Almost literally 1 rifle.
Nico off the flash. Perfect! 2 kills. Helps out Hooksy with the next one, and we just see this time and time again. The meat grinder that meets Furia on all fronts. They tried to get electric. They tried to crank that dial, but their dial near done turned to a near mute. All of a sudden, Furia very much facing elimination. If they can't pick up a pistol, we're done here.
Leaving with the last major title.
Everything can go wrong quickly. If we lose this game, everybody's going home.
This is your one last chance.
There's no question, this is the culmination of everything that we've been doing for the last 10 years.
In Aramite, it's even more crazy. You need to get ready for everything. I wake up every morning to win, I work to win, and I live to win. It would mean everything to me. I'm fucking ready.
I did. I see nothing.
I have up.
They're molly short. It has to be A. It has to be A.
Flash, maybe I'll tap. Drops.
Smoke jungle.
One is close, drops.
They're going up.
You guys need to put pressure for
I'm
Justin.
flanking Khan soon.
He one close.
Justin, play late.
Nothing slow.
There's
Nice. Play Justin.
I'm flanking Khan.
Sandwich, or
No, I default or something. Side. I think side around the smoke.
maybe close to firebox, Ilya.
Nice.
Nice!
Damn, man. With an 11-4 half, G2 feeling cerebral in those moments. And that was just as they hunted down one player after time with a huge lead already in their back pocket. That's the type of energy, communication, and cleanliness that G2 are bringing to each of these moments, because this is a G2 who is looking to suddenly dispatch of the doubts made possible yesterday with those best-of-1 losses. You were convinced at home that G2 were going to playoffs, and now they have reconvinced you that you should forget about yesterday. Without a pistol round here for Furia, this could very quickly turn into a dia-day defeat. And with a flash on Quesarado losing his teammate up into the apps, he better hope that Molly holds them back while the rotates come over. The problem for him is that already those rotates are being held by Hunter. He lets the first one go as Hooksy exits, then he activates, dropping, drop, and getting in towards market with another player unprepared. Hunter goes huge,
Oh my God.
and with Nico back behind him, it's 4 rounds to continuing their run in Paris.
The double layer lurk there with the T-side entries on the hold while they're holding on to B apps, catching every rotator, reading every attack. And this is where, yeah, it's the doomsday here for FURIA, unfortunately. 12 rounds for G2. They're comfortable. They're relaxed right now. Unbothered, moisturized, in their lane, focused, shoulders down.
First pistol round G2 pickup in this series. We talk about the non-existent T-sides from FURIA yesterday. We talk about the 4 rounds per T-side coming off the back of those pistols and momentum and nothing else with it. So you can't help but feel like without this one, we're done here. Or rather, they're done here.
Looks like G2, if they do win this, will be playing against Fnatic tomorrow, which is a pretty favorable draw considering the other monsters that are left over from the O2s and the 1-2s. And so, yeah, like you're saying, this would be one of the harder matchups they'd have to get through. It inspires confidence thinking about G2 and their potential of surviving an O2 run. And depending on what we get into playoffs, there's going to be a lot of teams that, you know, started off 0-2, 1-2, survived, and had some miraculous comeback. They're all almost going to be able to brag about that. But it won't make it any less amazing. You know, the thought flashes before the rise. I'm sure if you ask Hooksy, someone is always brutally honest about these kinds of things. Like after they didn't qualify for Rio, he said he was depressed, watching TV in his hotel room for 3 days, not thinking about anything else except for the fact that they just couldn't make it. And you better believe that came through his head again, you know, in this situation, and wondering if he's let the team down, if there's anything that he could have done more as a leader. And he can put to bed all of those questions. And by defeating FURIA, it's a very strong start on that path.
Squats are really good for overall health.
Really important.
It's important to start, you know, your day with that. Weapons outside of the A site for G2. Let's see what the defense can do. Let's see if FURIA have any fight left in them, or if they're just going to roll over and accept defeat after what has been one of the flattest starts from any team at the Legend stage. 9 tried their damnedest to make things close. G2 and FaZe had hard-fought battles. Of the 4 teams that go down into the 0-2 pool, FURIA have been the least successful. Now or never. Now or never again. Last chance at a CSGO major. And JKS trades out Yuri to start to peel off this A-site defense. More damage done to FURIA won't make this one easy. And there's nobody actually within this bomb site to even offer any stoppage. Art falls back, fades away like the hopes of FURIA, leaving this one for G2. Their 14th queued up, add it to the tally.
Yeah, saving is hardly even an option, but it's actually the only thing that they can do at this point. They would go for it if they were closer, but they got shoved out of the attack, lost their CT guy. There was a threat from G2 where they could have jumped over and taken over that control of it. 3v4 retake on the A side of Mirage. Onto very low utility already. No hope in hell. FURIA save against match point now. Series point, tournament point. And we'll say at least we keep these guns, but that's it. A simple exec out of G2 just to test the waters. And it works out perfectly.
First kill from Yuri, but JKS Skalil trade. And just the damage that ends up coming through the smokes. I mean, Hooksy finishes off safe. Art got taken down to half as the stairs smoke obscured his vision. Didn't stop the bullets that came shooting through. 10-round deficit for FURIA.
You could see it on Art's face. You know, this is where you're just going to start thinking about it. You don't want to, but it's becoming real.
Gary going to try one last time to rally the troops. It was in 2016 that Brazil proved to the world that they could represent the Americas region, that they could win major championships, and that they could do it more than once. The legends that did so convinced an entire nation that they too could take over the world of Counter-Strike, and FURIA are a byproduct of that. Having picked up the mantle as Brazil's #1 for the most recent years and being the mainstay of playoffs, for them to not make that top 8, the disappointment of a passionate country immeasurable. Look at that round history. Look how out of this match FURIA really are. A quick boost out of safe, doing anything to try and make this happen. Anything to get a trade frag, to get a hope, to get the dream going again. And Drop will do that. The double kill that could end up forcing G2 to trickle into the bomb site that still has somebody inside of it. And not just any somebody, one of Brazil's best. 3-13 is KS Serato.
Oof.
Where has he gone?
Not a single stat that we can look to make things look better in this dark time. Here on the back end of Mirage, got 2 A players push forward. Good positions overall to try to put up a defense in the 3v3. Honestly, couldn't ask for better spots, but how will they respond to this connector smoke? As G2 fan both sides of it. Yuri, eyes wide open. He got a kill on hold on the last round.
If there's anybody.
But 38 seconds, and Nico's looking to scour the B site. Serato, you talked about his individual level just now.
Tucked back quietly in the corner. Nico still hasn't been able to find him, but he's going to get the angle.
Yeah, he will get the angle. Let's see if Serato can get the adjustment. He does.
The contact's made. Serato puts up the kill. Yuri then finds the next one. Monacy's all that's left, and Art will find it. FURIA. There's 5.
Okay.
And it's a long road back.
Yeah, the 2-for-2 trade in upper B into the mid round. That goes towards A, but a really good, positional maneuver from all 3 players involved to cover the majority of things. Of course, it would have got ugly if Nico got his frag on Serato, and he definitely had a small edge right here where Serato gets spotted, but the adjustment is perfect. And FURIA fight on. G2 had such an easy time. They barely used any timeouts. Only the second one called here. Nearing what could be the end of the game. We'll see what the idea is going to be.
One foot in front of the next. Step by step.
It's getting hard to use platitudes like that now, isn't it?
It really is.
It's like if any game would call for it, it would be this one. And yet it just feels almost so wrong because
so flat, man.
Just so flat.
It's so flat. Pop shot out of safe though. An uptick. Out of FURIA's 5v4s. Nico doesn't get out with a kill yet. Drop duels him, wins it. And a 5v3 here for FURIA. A CT side that's got a chance to start. Wouldn't be the first 3v5 that G2 pick up. Frag grenade, a warning sign. The CTs aren't far off.
Yeah, they'll rush back into getting control of CT spawn. At good timing. And escort Serato forward into the site. Should be perfect for the defense. 2 smart moves here from FURIA in these types of moments to read where the 3 players of G2 are going to be attacking from.
G2 wait long enough that we do get FURIA sliding in, but then Hunter catches Yuri. A little misstep, and the timing catching him in the middle of it all. Serato doesn't feel comfortable here whatsoever. Safe's op extends around, doesn't kill JKS. Serato will get the job done. Gives himself a smoke to just play behind. He's low HP. And Monacy's alive. Hungry. Art's AUG over the top. Clears out the sandwich. Serato's died in the meantime. Ooh, Monacy. You feel it? The first one's his, but Safe's got the angle. And so FURIA have got another one to try and make this happen with step by step.
Step by step. Little aggression inside a middle. Control of the B side. Safe's opener pushes them forward over on B to try to get some compensation back quickly. Drop deals with it. He is one of the weaker B anchors, you know, at the tier 1 level, especially when it comes to Mirage. There are some games definitely where his performances have struggled a little bit. Of course, we saw a peak from him at the Rio Major as an individual, which inspired some confidence in the youngest and newest Academy League call-up for FURIA. But overall, still some work to do. And can certainly prove a lot today if he did something miraculous. But for now, I would definitely be game planning towards him if I was G2.
Good chance for Art to just go flex. Just the pistols. So it's 2 down smooth. Caserado going to try to guard that M4. They're going to send a man on it. Good run boost into the cover, but it all gets cleared up. Caserado's nade finds its home, 7 to FURIA, still half the round count. And you can tell, of course, by FURIA's body language, there's still no excitement here. There's nothing to be celebrating. It is just fear that keeps them going.
Yeah, fear and hopes for a better CT side, which at least that's something that hasn't totally been up in question. I don't know. Honestly, even that has.
It's all just been a question.
It all has just been a question.
FURIA's performance in Paris, one of the biggest question marks. If they fall flat, we'll be left scratching our heads, as I think it's confusing to try and figure out what's next. If it was redoing the system instead of replacing Art, and then that system has failed you this badly, do you revert? Or do you make more drastic moves?
Yeah.
Push out top middle from G2. Ladder player decides to dive ladder. Coming back though, drop. Preparing for the fight. 2 to the right side and nothing. It's Hunter with the instant kill. Safe can't expose himself to the apartments and he misses his shot. But Art will pick one up from the other side of the map. m0NESY trades that back instantly. A smoke to go down inside apartments, but everybody who's trying to come help Safe is dying. And they know where he is, so Bomb can leave. A site is clear for the taking, and that is a golden opportunity for G2's 15th. They've got a man hunting down the Opper, which means cleared out will be FURIA. Money will be in question, and so is their future. 8 attempts to close this series from the superstars expected in the playoffs.
There's something about the finality of this last CSGO major that just makes this different, you know? At Antwerp, there's another chance. At Rio, there's another chance. But this is the final chance here in CSGO, and there's something different about that. I think it struck everybody, for all of us who have been around for so long, where it was just like, what? This could end? Like, that didn't seem real for a long time. Counter-Strike 2, literally a meme for years. The idea of the game, you know, moving on to a new engine and things just having a bow put on them before we start a new history. But that's a reality, as we saw in the documentary a little bit earlier, people talking about what this major means to them. It's on everybody's mind. It's an open secret, and it's unignorable.
And in that content piece, how many players said Nico's name when it came to individuals who deserve to have had that major? Maybe deserve's not the right word, but you'd think had earned. MP9s and M4s and a Deagle here for FURIA. That's all that they have left to try and keep them in this. The consistency of their playoff performances time and time again, it's all in question. No guarantees, but at least another chance as Yuri catches the 5v4. Deagle out of Caserado goes down. The A site's starting to crumble. Safe predicted. And taking damage from Ticket. Oh, his spray is not quite on the mark, but his teammates are here already. Art posted on this angle. Dueling versus JKS. He looks to make the difference. And now, these last 2 Ts in Hunter and m0NESY with upticks in their performance scour the contact that FURIA are here to offer. Hunter with the trade back, and m0NESY looking for that last frag, the last frag to keep G2 in this run. But there is no over celebration. There is no victory in this moment yet for G2 because their goals are set so far in the future, their hopes so much bigger than a simple best-of-3 win in the 0-2 pool, that as they go over to shake the heartbroken opponents, they will see themselves in their eyes. This road for G2 is not nearly done. In fact, this is still, to them, the bare minimum. And meanwhile, we say farewell to FURIA. The consistency of their playoffs, gone. The hopes of Brazil, the only team here to represent one of Counter-Strike's most passionate nations, gone. Evaporating.